Donald Trump summoned to court.
There's never been anything like what's happened.
This time in Miami. The Stanley Cup Finals shift to sunrise.
We love playing at home.
The Panthers fight at home to claw their way out of 2 losses. A former NFL player and a Florida native fights to prove his innocence.
Your life is in 12 jurors' hands. That's a scary feeling, so definitely was nervous.
In his last day of court. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Lauren Wertz.
I'm Daniela Tolke. Today is Friday, June 9th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
SoFlo summons former President Trump is being called into a courtroom, and it's here in Miami. The former president indicted on federal charges in relation to a classified document probe.
As CNN's Gloria Pazmina reports, it's a first in American history.
Former President Donald Trump set to become twice indicted and now the first president in U.S. history to be facing federal charges. Trump took to social media to announce the news himself, saying he expects to be in a Miami federal courtroom next Tuesday.
There's never been anything like what's happened.
Former President Donald Trump claiming his innocence on social media shortly after news broke of his federal indictment.
I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person.
According to sources familiar with the case, Trump is facing 7 charges, the result of months of federal investigations into allegedly mishandling classified documents as the former president moved from the White House to Mar-a-Lago after his term. In January 2022, Trump sent 15 boxes of documents to the National Archives. That June, his lawyers sent 38 classified records after the former president was subpoenaed. The FBI searched Mar-a-Lago in August and found more than 100 additional classified materials, all as federal grand juries went to work in Washington, then Miami.
If he had only returned the documents when he was first asked for them, none of this would have happened. But he didn't. So now he faces multiple charges.
The former president and his allies call it a political witch hunt.
This is crossing the Rubicon. You know, when we have a weaponized DOJ serving as the Praetorian Guard for the Democratic Party, for the incumbent administration.
President Joe Biden addressed the allegations on Thursday before the charges were announced.
I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge. I'm honest.
Now, this past April, Trump was indicted on 34 felony counts related to alleged hush money payments and falsifying business records to adult film star Stormy Daniels. All of this in the lead up to the 2016 presidential election, those charges coming out of New York. Now, Trump has pleaded not guilty in that case. Reporting in Washington, D.C., I'm Gloria Pazmina. Back to you.
Cardiac Cats, the Florida Panthers, win their first finals game in franchise history, putting them 1 win behind the Vegas Golden Knights for the Stanley Cup. It was down to the final moments of the game that the comeback Cats came back. Although they were the first to score in the game, they lost that lead in the second period, and it was down to the final 2 minutes of the third where Matthew Tkachuk tied the game and sent them into overtime, where Carter Vergehi scored to win it.
To win in overtime in front of our home fans, it gives us a little bit of momentum, and you saw it right from the start in the first period. I think we fed off our home crowd a little bit, and we love playing at home.
After a rough stretch in Vegas, last night's win was crucial for the Panthers to get into the series. They are now down 2-1 to the Knights with hopes to tie the series in the next home game. The final score was Knights 2, Panthers 3. The two teams will face off for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow at 8 p.m.
A win off the field for a former NFL star with ties to South Florida, as Caplin's Yam Pressler reports. Travis Rudolph has been found not guilty in a fatal shooting case.
Travis Rudolph, a former Miami Dolphins and Florida State wide receiver, was found not guilty by a Palm Beach County jury Wednesday after facing murder charges for a fatal shooting back in 2021.
Your life is in 12 jurors' hands. That's a scary feeling, so definitely was nervous, and we definitely pray a lot. We have unwavering faith. So
Rudolph was cleared of all charges, which included 1 count of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted murder following an argument with his alleged girlfriend at his Palm Beach home. Tierney Coleman, Rudolph's older sister, says the key evidence was her family's testimony, which helps Rudolph's claims of self-defense.
I think that Mark did a really, really good job exposing the truth and allowing the jury and the world to see what really happened.
Finally got my freedom back. I can get back to my life, man.
Rudolph says he's ready to celebrate and spend time with his family, and is looking forward to a return back to football. For Caplin News, I am Jan Preisler.
The Florida woman who allegedly killed her neighbor appears in court without bond. Susan Lorenz, the woman who is accused of shooting her neighbor and harming her son, appeared in court yesterday. Lorenz was held without bond at the sheriff's office after being arrested and charged with manslaughter. A bond hearing will take place today.
On American soil, a convicted murderer flown to the U.S. to face charges related to the disappearance and death of Natalie Holloway. Caplin News reporter Aiden Chacon has more on the case against Joran van der Sloot.
Convicted murderer Joran van der Sloot arrived in the United States to stand trial for charges related to the 2005 disappearance of Natalie Holloway. 18-year-old Alabama teenager Natalie Holloway was last seen in Aruba, where she was leaving a nightclub with a group of 3 men that included van der Sloot. The Dutch citizen flew out of a Peruvian Air Force base Thursday morning, where he met the FBI agents responsible for delivering him to Alabama.
Help us try to find Natalie.
Holloway's body has never been found, and she was officially declared dead by an Alabama judge in 2012. While no one has ever been charged with her death, and while van der Sloot has maintained his innocence, the Holloway family have kept a hopeful attitude since the beginning of this process in 2005.
I think we have just hung on to this possibility since July the 4th. I've just not given up hope that the boys or the men wouldn't be rearrested.
Joran van der Sloot has been imprisoned in Peru since 2010 for the murder of 21-year-old Stephanie Flores Ramirez. His temporary transfer to Alabama will see him face extortion and wire fraud charges for allegedly trying to take $250,000 from the Holloway family in exchange for information about Natalie's location. Now 35 years old, van der Sloot welcomed the transfer to the U.S. in a letter to his attorney that read, "I want to go to the U.S." While inside his prison ward in Peru, van der Sloot suffered some bruising and cuts to his fingers due to a fight during visiting hours, according to his attorney. He is expected to stay in the United States until the end of his trial if he opts to plead not guilty.
I want him to tell the truth. He knows exactly what happened. He knows what, where, when, who, why, and how.
I'm Aiden Chacon, Caplin News.
New video this morning of a manatee mother and her newborn calf swimming in a southwest Florida canal. Caplin News reporter Jillian Salvi Cruz has more on the special moment caught on camera.
A manatee mother is enjoying her newborn calf this morning after being seen swimming in a Florida canal. Bonita Shores resident Kevin Swanapool captured the special moment on camera.
Yeah, we noticed this very large manatee just sitting around the area, didn't move much, sitting underneath the dock, and so we were always fascinated.
Kevin Swanapool had a hunch something might have been going on after seeing the manatee mother and thought that he was seeing something special.
When we came out, the mother was nursing it up to the surface just to get its first, breath of air. And it actually continued doing that the whole of yesterday. It would literally allow it to swim a little way away, and it would go down, and then the mother would nurse it back up to the surface and get that breath of air. So there they are there.
Kevin has been able to keep up with both the manatee mom and newborn through the canal in his backyard.
My son and his girlfriend were both in tears because it was like this remarkable experience of sort of seeing this brand new little calf being born, and then suddenly it coming up to the surface, and the mother nurturing it is just so incredible.
Professor James Douglas with the FGCU Water School says they'll probably move out soon.
They'll probably move out of the canal at some point to look for food. The baby is nursing. The mother's nipples are under the arms, so when you see the baby reach under the flipper of the mother is looking to nurse. And the mother, though, she needs to eat a lot of underwater plants, and the mangroves are not going to cut it. She's going to have to go look for seagrass beds.
The reproductive rate for manatees is fairly low. On average, one calf is born every 2 to 5 years. and they tend to stay by their mother's side for up to 2 years. Jillian Savi-Cruz for Caplin News.
More freedom for handicapped travelers as airlines innovate accessibility.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
My final goal is to be able to fly with him in the same cockpit, so that'd be really great.
Some Florida teens reach new heights as they take on building a plane. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by PantherTech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
All kids wish they can fly, but some Southwest Florida teens are actually making it a reality. Not only did they get a chance to fly in a
Florida
plane,
teens making their mark on the world of aviation.
11 teenagers from Naples decided.
not only did they get a chance to fly in a plane,
as Caplin Amanda Gray reports, they also played a role in making it.
The sky is the limit for a group of Florida teens making their mark on the world of aviation.
11 teenagers from Naples decided to do something unique. They wanted to build a plane. 3 years later, that plane is now ready to fly.
It feels amazing, and it's extremely satisfying feeling to know what you built is right in front of you, to see that your work paid off.
The group is part of the Naples Youth Aviation Project, which seeks to empower young people to pursue their passion in aviation. The organization bought the students a kit to build a small aircraft. It's a 2-seater plane called the Sling 2. Teenager Devin Wilson was one of the 11 students to build the plane. He says his dream is to fly with his father, who is a pilot.
My final goal is to be able to fly with him in the same cockpit, so that'd be really great.
Garrett Sutton has already earned his pilot license and will be the one to take the plane up in the air.
Like you look at it and you're like, I did this, I did this, I did this. You know, it's you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and now you get to actually fly it. So that's definitely a unique opportunity I've been given.
In July, Garrett will be flying the plane to Wisconsin for a global fly-in convention. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Amanda Gray.
disabled people are excited about an innovation that could make their flight experience way easier. A new innovation by Delta Airlines would allow disabled people to stay in their own wheelchairs during a flight. The prototype would work by folding up the airline seat and wheelchair will dock into place. This would allow users with wheelchairs a smoother flight experience. The official release of the prototype technology is expected to come in a little over a year.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Daniela Toki.
I'm Lauren Wirtz. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.